His Majesty the King here, saluting the crowd alongside Queen Camilla. Can't really emphasise enough just how important it is that they are here for ASCOT, for the crowds here as well for the meeting.
Yes, we heard a resounding cheer when they came in. We also got a good hip hip hooray, and I think that he's been very congenial when he comes out. Takes his time to wave to everybody, make sure everyone can get the photos that they want in.
Yeah, Roy was great, by the way.
Oh my gosh, she was amazing.
Very interesting to find out about. So there we are. Look forward to welcoming Roy back tomorrow. We're not too far away then from our opening contest. We're about 11 minutes or so till our opening race. Horses have just started to make their way in behind us. It's a really interesting renewal of the Queen Anne Stakes. It's traditionally a race where you get some star quality in there. We've got 2 classic winners in there from last year, but also it's a race that can throw up some surprises as well. Excuse me, the straight course, Michelle, at Royal Ascot is a place that can do that because of the nature of it. When they go hard, it can really pay to come from off the speed. It can be a real test over whatever distance it's at, and it's a course that can throw up a real surprise.
I really love the straight course. I think it's intriguing in here. It's one thing to watch the 5 furlong horses go, but it's so tactical to watch the horses have to go 1 mile on the straight and really figure out what group you're going to be in, at what point to make your move. And you know, in American racing, everyone kind of starts to run at the same spot, and I feel like when you watch these straight races, it's a lot more of a rider's game.
Well, obviously in American racing and in race with tight turns, you can get lots of hard luck stories. Now, a field of 10 here, you'd be hopeful they'll come arrowhead down the middle, and horses will be afforded the chance to find room to go on the wings if they need to. Obviously, if you do tend to congregate towards a rail, which you might get in some of the big field handicaps throughout the week, then you can get hard luck stories for sure. But
last couple of years we have seen horses win that were prominent, so maybe look for someone that has a little bit more oomph early on, someone like Dancing Gemini.
Carl Spackler, we've heard from his corrections already, and he's a really interesting runner. How good is this horse when he was in America?
He's great. He was the top turf miler in America when he was over with us. He was a 3-time Grade 1 winner at multiple tracks. His last race that he won, the Maker's Mark Mile at Keeneland, he was scintillating. He came from behind. He unleashed a turn of foot like we haven't seen stateside in a while. That being said, I don't know how he's going to line up over here with the Euros.
No, we'll see how he goes on the straight course, but really interesting run for Kiramara and James McDonald. Here's Richard Hoyles. Hello, Jane. Jane's here.
TV7's worth 100 grand today. Whatever happens, we'll give away 10 grand as a consolation prize. Great time now to get that entry in. Let's say good afternoon, Richard Hoyles.
Good afternoon, Ed, and what a beautiful week we have in prospect. Absolutely spectacular weather. You can see right the way over to London on one side, right the way out towards Ascot on the other. So runners about to head down towards the start for a really top-class start to the proceedings today. Some really good Group 1 racing, starting with the Queen, and the first 4 in the Lockinge are all in appearance. Plenty of Guineas winners as well. One is Cairo Silvestre de Souza for Alice Haynes, amongst the outsiders, and visored for the first time. 2 is Carl Spackler, supplemented. Real international profile New Zealand rider James McDonald, Australian trainer Kieran Ma, Chinese owned. Number 3 is Dancing Gemini, just touched off in the Lockinge. Kieran Schumacher back in the saddle for Roger Teal in the striped colours of Fish Dance Limited. Number 4, Diego Velasquez, withdrawn at the stalls on his intended reappearance. Ryan Moore and Aidan O'Brien. Aidan on 91 Royal Ascot winners beginning the week. Number 5 is Docklands, a winner of the Britannia in 2023, second in this last year. Mark Zara, the Australian rider, his first Royal Ascot ride for Harry Eustace. Number 6 is Lake Forest, who was runner-up in last year's Commonwealth Cup. Tom Marquand is aboard for William Haggis, and owners Tony Bloom and Eel McAlevey. Number 7 is Lead Artist, winner of the Lockinge. Colin Keane, part of his new association with Juddmonte, announced since that ride when Oisin Murphy was on board for John and Thady Gosden. Number 8 is Notable Speech, the winner of the 2,000 guineas last season. William Buick for Charlie Appleby, only 4th on his return in the Lockinge, but better for the run is expected. Number 9 is Coudoir, Callum Shepherd for Simon and Ed Crisford, a progressive horse, fighting off quite a lot today, but is on the up. and has been supported at odds this morning. And number 10, Rosalian, winner of the 2024 St James's Palace when he comprehensively beat Notable Speech, winner of the Irish 2000 Guineas as well, and another to be returning off an absence in the Lockinge when he finished third to lead artist. Number 11, Sardinian Warrior, unfortunately is an absentee, but it still leaves a very high quality field of 10. Immediately after the Lockinge, they were going 9-2 anti-post the field for the Queen Anne, and it's still very open, Brian.
It is indeed, Richard, but Rosalian is now 2.5 to 1, 5-2 favourite. Although if you shop around this Royal Ascot Stock Exchange here, you can get 11 to 4, but generally a 5-2 shot. 9-2 Notable Speech. Lead artist 5 to 1. Dancing Gemini 6 to 1, and at 7 to 1 Carol Sparker. And you can see the big one at 4.20. The Guineas Field of Gold is 11 to 10 on 130 ruling court, and Henri Matisse 7 to 2. The French, the English, and the Irish Guineas match up in the St James Palace at 20 past 4, but they're on their way to the gates. Rosalian 5-2 favourite.
It seems almost crazy to have a race of this quality first off the rank this afternoon, but here they are, they're in the parade ring. This is Rosalian, who was a brilliant winner here last year in the St James's Palace. He had quite a long layoff, and his first run back at Newbury was good. Now we're banking on the fact that he'll come forward from that run, and I can confirm that in the parade ring he looks fantastic. Lovely shine on his coat, nice and tight, well muscled, really well put together. So tick for Rosalian. Who else can we have a look at? Well, Notable Speech. So he finished behind Rosalian at Newbury, and let's see how he has come on for the run. So Rosalian that day was third. This one was fourth. There wasn't really much in it. To me, he made up quite a lot of ground. He was behind Rosalian in the run, came with his run, and then just got tired later on. Now, he's a horse that does seem to carry a good bit of condition. If you look behind the girth there, it's got a bit of a curve to his belly there, suggesting that he holds on to a bit of condition there. Nice and calm, not a mark of sweat on him. Classy horse, last year's 2000 Guineas winner. William Buick just gives him a little rub down his head as Charlie Appleby legs him up. So who is going to take the biggest step forward from the Lockinge? That is the question mark. Or maybe we are not going to find the winner from the Lockinge. This is number 9. This is Kudwa. Wow, he's a good-looking individual, isn't he? He is a lightly raced 5-year-old. He's won 5 of his 7 starts. He won in France last time out on his seasonal reappearance. He's good looking, isn't he? He's a bit taller than those last 2 that we've seen. He's also older. He's a 5-year-old, but he's really grown as the jockey's got on board, and he looks fantastic. So he's be a bigger price horse for you here. And I want to have a look at Carl Spackler, who we haven't seen in this country because he has come from America. He's now trained by an Australian trainer. He has got a very international feel about him, Carl Spackler. He's a winner last time out. He was trained by Chad Brown in America. This is all a little bit new to him, as will be the straight mile. So interesting international angle there with Carl Spackler, but chances everywhere you look.
Well, what a team we've got here. Frankie Dettori of here's James McDonald, arguably the best jockey on planet Earth, and Kieran Maher, who is a Melbourne Cup winning trainer. But you'd love to win at Royal Ascot, Kieran.
Yeah, we'd love to.
Tell us about Carl Spackler, because he's a horse. He's the one horse in this race that not every one of our viewers will know anything about.
No, that's right. Well, he's obviously from the US. He's highly credentialed. He's 3-time Group 1 winner. But the track's going to be a lot different to what he's used to. 1 being a straight line and 2 with a bit of elevation. So, look, he's been here about 3 weeks. He's done everything well. He's worked nicely on the July course, and we'll see how we go.
Yeah, we're looking forward to him. He ran at Delmar in the Breeders' Cup Mile. He blew out there, but he came back for Chad Brown with the winner Keenan the other day. Let's have a quick word with James. James, I say that you are the best jockey on the planet. You're about to go and show us how good you are?
Well, I hope so. I need some luck, but...
And of course, you're not actually Australian at all. Kieran's an Australian, yeah?
Yeah, he's Aussie.
And you're a New Zealander.
Kiwi.
So technically, you should be rivals, but we wish you all the best.
Thank you.
Have a good one.
Thanks, mate.
Forward from the Lockinge.
Many of you will fancy Rosalian. Many of you at home will fancy Rosalian, I'm sure. The 3-time Group 1 winner, won the St James's Palace, as I said a few moments ago, last year. Fancied by Tipping Tom on the opening show this morning, Johnny, for Richard Hannon, who won this 11 years ago with Toronado. So some people say you should be opposing the Lockinge form, but it's all important. The first 4 Rematch again. Rosallion was third that day. He's the favourite today at 5-2. Who do you think's going to come out on top from those horses at Newbury?
Well, Rosallion, he likes Ascot, and that's a plus. You know what I mean? I wonder just was the horses here on the left. They didn't fit. The horses on the outside seemed to finish a bit better. Was there any track bias that there? I'm not sure. But it looked like the Khaled Abdullah horse, you know, he was in a perfect position. Rosallion didn't travel like the winner. Looked like he hit a flat spot. And listen, I can't say there was any real excuses, only that was his first run of the year, and maybe they did have their eye on this race.
And also, you want everything to go right up at the top level. And he was just on the wing the whole way down there, rather than getting a perfect sort of run in the peloton.
It's a funny one, isn't it, where we're basically looking at the third and the fourth home and thinking, or banking on the fact that they're going to take the most improvement from that race. Lead Artist was the winner. He massively improved from really disappointing in his start before that. Dancing Gemini has been so consistent, and he's very much gone in the footsteps of Charin, who came out and won this after being beaten in the Lockinge.
Yes, and I think Dancing Gemini, Ryan rode him perfectly, but he might have just went half a furlong too soon. I'd say if we was to do it again, he might have just come with that one run at the end.
Ollie, this week, the last couple of minutes before these big races, so important in the markets.
Yeah, it's going to be, Ed, and it's going to be, I'm sure, quite telling, probably particularly in the 2-year-old races and any big moves that happen in the handicaps. But actually, there's a significant move in this race, and the horse in question is Carl Spackler, one of the market movers we flagged at the start of the day. That support's continued, and it's mirrored on the exchanges. Carl Spackler, a big move for the Queen Anne.
Yes, indeed, and that's mirrored here in the ring as well. Ollie did see 10-1, 11-1. You can see, depending where you shop, around 17-2 with Macbeth, Carl Spackler, or you can get 8-1 with Rosallion. Very strong, 5-2 favourite Rosallion. There was a little bit 11-4, generally 5-2.
And that market mover, Johnny, is the horse you like, Carl Spackler. Like what you see in the paddock too?
Yeah, he's a fine big horse. He paraded very well. He looks very fit. Interesting horse, you know, coming from America, Australian trainer, Australian jockey. He won't lack from the saddle with this guy, James McDonald. He's supposed to be the best in the world, but this is the greatest stage on earth, so he has to do it here in Ascot for me.
Who do you fancy, Jason?
I thought that Notable Speech, the more I looked at how well he ran at Newbury, and he was just carrying so much condition. That was the key. You know, it looked like a perfect warm-up run for him.
Who's handling it well down there, Luke?
Do you know, it's not often I agree with Johnny, but Carl Spackler is an absolute gorgeous horse. Look at him, big, strong, unique markings. But this is a horse, I think, just walking past there, number 3, that's Dancing Gemini. I think he looks really, really well. Since the last time I saw him, he looks to me as if he's got stronger. He's got more muscle, more top line to him than he had before. Interestingly, Kieran Schumacher, who rides him, just putting his feet back in his irons, but he's had his feet out of his irons ever since he got down here, just in a bid just to keep this horse as settled as possible. The only negative really is for the big outside, that's Cairo, who's getting very warm and almost agitated. Sometimes when they get that sweaty, they can get a bit upset, but loading underway.
And that man in the orange and blue stripes there, Kieran Schumacher, how much would you like to see him win and prove a point, Johnny, after what he's had to put up with?
I don't think there's a jockey in the last 10 years that had to put up as much as he had in the last couple of months. It's been a big downward curve for him, you know what I mean? He was the first jockey to John Gosden. He didn't do too much wrong in the Guineas. He just got beat a half a length. He thought maybe it was the same as the trial, the Craven, but when he pushed the button, he just couldn't pick them up. So listen, he's had a few tough days, and I suppose he has family and friends around him, but this is a big week for him. You would love to see Everton going well, ride a big winner like that, and to prove to himself and to prove to everybody that he deserves to be a top jockey.
Likewise, Colin Keane, who you saw there in the Judmont green, pink and white. Good luck, Kieran Schumacher, nearest us. Here we go then. Royal Ascot about to get underway. Rosallion coming forward, then just the 2 left. Richard.
Yes, and keep an eye on Diego Velasquez, who'll be last into stall 1, having been withdrawn on his intended reappearance. Looks absolutely fantastic in his coat. That's it, Queen Anne Stakes, straight mile, Royal Ascot 2025, about to get underway, and they're off and racing. Dockland's a little slow into stride. Lead Artist jumps out prominently, and Coudoir in the yellow colours. Carl Spackler in the early pace is not that strong. Dancing Gemini in the stripes. Rosallion and Notable Speech just lobbing along with Diego Velasquez. Lake Forest, Cairo, who got warm beforehand, and having missed the start, Docklands will have little trouble in recovering the ground to tack on the back of these very steadily run early stages of this Queen Anne. Being led by Coudoir in the yellow colours. Lead Artist, Pink Cap, Dancing Gemini, the striped colours. the tiger stripes, and Diego Velasquez with the big white face. The other white face of Carl Spackler, notable speech, just moving up amongst horses with Rosalian in the yellow colours, more towards the stand side. Behind those, on the outside, is Docklands of Lake Forest and Cairo as they're heading down towards halfway. Still sitting pretty, Coudoir out in front, yet to really press on. Lead Artist passive outside the leader in second. Dancing Gemini and Diego Velasquez. Notable speech tracks the leaders with Carl Spackler. Rosalian still well back in the field with Lake Forest. Docklands edges closer, and then Cairo. So the pace yet to really pick up. Lead Artist the first one to apply a bit of pressure to Coudoir. Behind these in the stripes is Dancing Gemini. Notable speech, Rosalian is now asked to improve. Notable speech just looking for a gap towards the far side. Carl Spackler as well. A notable speech has to come right around them. First one to commit is Docklands on the far side. Rosalian, Carl Spackler. Notable speech is rider. Drop the whip as they head towards the line. Rosalian and Docklands. Docklands narrowly. Second last year. One die this year. Very close. Docklands of Rosalian. Cairo in third. All went wrong for notable speech. Lake Forest, Carl Spackler. Lead Artist, Dancing Gemini, Diego Velasquez and Coudoir. Docklands and Mark Zara. Near side Rosalian. It is close. A drop of their heads. On even strides, Rosalian was just in front, but fighting back on the far side, Docklands, and it is very close. On the exchanges, Docklands is favoured at 1.25. Got to the front, was last away. Mark Zara grasped the nettle in a steadily run race. Rosalian was well back as well. This is going to be very, very close. Just before the line, Rosalian had got to the lead, but on the line, the dip favours Docklands. The Queen Anne is in the hands of the judge.
A Queen Anne that turned into a 2 furlong sprint, and you'll see Mark Zara whipless. How important that might have been. Docklands second last year. Is he first this time around? Jason, can you call it?
Well, my initial feeling was thrusting that Rosalian had come through, but when we watch again, he bobs now to go in front just before the line, but on the far side,
for first place in the first
feels
race.
as if...
First, number 5, Docklands.
Docklands has won the Queen Anne.
Third, number 1.
Docklands for Harry Eustace has his third Royal Ascot winner, his first Group 1, and for Mark Zara, what a moment.
Well, as a jockey, when you lose your whip in a Group 1 like this and you end up winning, it's a relief, because who knows what, how much more he would have found with a backhander to go and win. He travelled well at the back, they went slow, but they got racing maybe a little bit early. 6 in a line, 2 furlong sprint. You could see him, he was coming here to win, Jason. He gave him a backhander. He gave him one backhander. Oh my God!
There it goes, and thankfully for him, he has responded, hasn't he? As Rosalian, the last one to challenge here. Heads up, heads down, Docklands.
You know, we have to spare a thought for here. He'll be watching at home, who was with us yesterday on the boat. Hayley Turner, she rode Docklands to finish second in this race last year, second to Charon, and here he is now partnered by Mark Zara, who's come all the way from Australia to ride him here. And he was one of the slowest away from the gates, actually, which is odd considering they didn't go a hugely strong tempo, and he's been able to just really get into a good fight with Rosalian and just get the better of the argument.
Hayley, if you're watching, I'm sure you're delighted as well. Docklands winning by a whisker. Rosalian denied on the near sides, run a big race. Likewise, Cairo, who's finished in third place. Notable speech, looks like he's come forth. And what turned into just a sprint, didn't it, Johnny?
Yeah, like the first half of this race, they were going very, very steady. There was nobody really wanted to make the run, and everybody looked like they were in the position they wanted to be, but it was so slowly run, and everybody got going at the 3 furlong. But the horses that were held up, they were the last to challenge, and they finished first and second.
What a thrilling way to start this meeting. Mark, just talk me through what happened, including the loss of the whip, the bob of the heads.
Everyone kept scaring me about the whip rules. I thought it was easy just to throw it away at the 200, but it was a very slow speed. And I just crept as much as I could, and we just got room at the right time, and he burst through and just kept responding, and it was such a tough effort.
How's that for a Royal Ascot reception?
Well, I know most of them, but they're making the most noise of everyone. But yeah, amazing! What an amazing feeling.
Tell me about for someone like you to have a Royal Ascot winner, the opening race of the day, a race that so many people build up as one of the races of the meeting.
Yeah, I mean, unbelievable. I've got to thank Will Bourne, who sort of put me on the case. He goes, get on to Harry, the Docklands is going there, and ring him. So I rang Harry, and Harry's like, yeah, you can ride him, no problem. And so I rang Henry, and just the build-up's amazing. Look, the crowds here, it's just, yeah, one of the top moments of my career for sure.
What a moment as well for Michael. You ride this horse every day, is that right?
Yeah, I do now, yeah. I don't know what to say. It's shock. It's shock at this point.
Here's Harry as well. I'm going to let them go back in and enjoy all this magnificent celebrations. Docklands nails Rosalian in the opener.
Hold on to your hat, Harry, and congratulations to you. And what a record this horse has at Ascot. He won the Britannia in 2023. He was second in this race last year. He's now done what Lord Glitters did in 2018 and 2019. From second to first. Docklands, in the colours of OTI Racing, won the Queen Anne. And these are owners, Johnny, you'll know well. You've trained for them, haven't you?
Yes, no, lovely people. Terry Henders has a big group. You know, he's a lot of horse in Australia, but he's buying them now in Europe, and he's getting to a certain level. If they're not good enough, he can bring them back to Australia. And if they're like top notches like here, they keep them here. And there'd be a big team here celebrating today. I think he had lots of people over from Australia to see this horse run.
Yeah, we thought there was a big continuum with the Asphora connections who'll be here in the King Charles III later on, but plenty of Australians with the connections with Docklands. And this is a horse they picked up quite cheaply, 16,000. He was related to another good horse that OTI had in the shape of Harbour Views. And he's, what, a 5-year-old now, but he's been so consistent. He loves Ascot, doesn't he? This is massive for his trainer, Harry Eustace, there. I just saw Dave Eustace, his brother, who now trains in Hong Kong after he used to train with Kieran Ma in Australia. But this is amazing for Mark Zara. He's ridden once here at Ascot before, first ride at Royal Ascot, and it's a winner, not only a winner, but in the Group 1 Queen Anne.
And to show you how slow they went on Race IQ, Docklands went nearly 2 seconds quicker through the 6th furlong than he did in the 2nd. They crawled.
So, you're talking upwards of, between 8, 10, 12 lengths quicker. They're absolutely rattling along late in the day. And great reply from the Aussie. They've always got a great reply. They told me so much about the whip rules, I thought I'd throw it away.
Great line that, wasn't it? Went wrong for Australia at Lords in the World Test Championship. They've won here another showpiece event at Royal Ascot. Docklands won the Queen Anne, was available at 25-1 with numerous firms, was nicely backed each way, went off at 14-1. Good start for the bookmakers though. Rosalian, the 5-2 favourite, beaten in second. Caro, as I say, has run huge for Alice Haynes. Well done to her. 100-1, third in a Queen Anne. Fantastic start with so much still to come.
Well done to Harry Eustace. Mark Zara, first Royal Ascot ride for him, and a win, and a first top-level success for Harry Eustace. The Queen Anne goes to Docklands.
Let's see here. Stars. Morning.
Morning.
I could eat a horse.
I hope you all enjoyed that race at home. What a race it was. Jay Mangan to my left, Michelle Yu to my right. We're seeing the scenes here with Mark Zara, just hugging away and delighted with that performance, no doubt. His first ride at the Royal meeting and a success for him. And we'll see, Jane, I'd imagine, a international campaign for him. I'll come to you in a second, Jane. We're going to go and get some fallout from this with Megan Nichols.
Yeah, and another horse who might just be seen internationally now is Cairo. Connections of this horse, who finished third at 100-1, are absolutely over the moon. Alice Haynes is delighted with him. The new headgear certainly worked. But one thing to note is this ground, quick, good to firm, is essential. He loves it. So it could be the Arlington Millions for this horse next. They're going to definitely consider an international campaign. In terms of Rosalian, well, the team have spoken to Rishi, so we will see and hear a little bit more from them. And I think it's fair to say William Buick ran off pretty quickly after, I think, what he found was pretty frustrating time of things out on the track from the first.